The focus of a court is to make a determination as to whether or not the child welfare agency's made reasonable efforts. That always has to be first and foremost in your mind as a hearing officer. The question is, how do you get there? Foster care is meant to be a temporary solution for children, for their safety and welfare and well-being, but it wasn't ever designed to be permanent. Permanency is something every human needs in their life to feel safe and secure and to be able to be successful. I've heard too many children over the years tell me how they've had to pack their belongings in garbage bags or whatever, and then just move from one day to the next and not be told anything. And that creates so much trauma in their lives. It's unnecessary. I've had the fortunate experience to work with Wendy's wonderful kid caseworkers. They get really difficult cases. They're assigned the older children that don't have a readily identified adoptive home. WWK recruiters are a part of reasonable efforts. When a child's placed in permanent custody, I have to review that case annually. One of the questions you're asking at the review hearing is whether or not the child welfare agency has made reasonable efforts for purposes of permanency. And one of the questions can be, what are you doing to identify a permanent home? And that's where WWK recruiters fit right in. Having a dedicated recruiter on the team is very important because it helps divide up duties for the social worker. The adoption caseworker has so many roles to play, hats to wear, whereas the WK worker can focus on the recruitment of trying to find a permanent home. The child's voice is really critical to the WWK recruiter. They can really get to know what the child wants. If the child doesn't want to go, that's not going to be successful placement. And so they have a real focus on the child's voice, and I think they really help kids be heard. I've seen them work with relatives to be able to identify relatives either in the state or out of the state so that a child was able to find a placement. Again, a lot of these folks maybe weren't available at the initial juncture of the case, but the WWK worker was able to go back and open up dialogues to be able to get the child in that home. I've had them look at a group home worker as an example because they're looking at the people these children have formed connections with. The WWK recruiter is helpful during court proceedings. They appear at our review hearings. So they're a big part of the discussion about reasonable efforts because they can share what all they're doing along with the caseworker. It provides the court with a big picture about all the efforts that the Child Welfare Agency is ensuring happens to try to identify a permanent forever home. And so it's very critical that we move forward with finding these children legal permanent homes so that they can always know that they can move forward in their lives because they have somewhere always stable to be.